Okay, this is another composite triangle question, and it's about a river. And it says that the diagram shows two parallel banks of a river. The angles from the 2 points R and S on one bank of the tree and the opposite bank are 38 and 47 as shown. Now, sometimes it can help to just remove all of the river and the tree and the picture and just put in the triangles so that you can visually see them a bit better and fill in what you've got. You've got 38 degrees there, you've got 47 degrees there, and you've got 50 meters across here. Okay, so the first question is looking to find the distance from R to the tree. So R is this point here, the tree is this point here, so they're looking for that side of the triangle. So how do I do it? Well, the first thing I do is I look to see, is this large triangle a right angle triangle? And it isn't. Okay, I know there's a little right angle symbol in here, but that's related to that line there. This triangle, the whole thing that we're looking at here, is not a right angle triangle. You have 38 degrees there, you have 47 degrees there, and you've God knows what up there. You could very easily find it by using the 180 rule if you wanted. So if it's not a right angle triangle, it's going to be the sine rule or the cosine rule. And you always start with sine rule. Try the sine rule. Now by now you should have an idea how to do the sine rule. So you start off by labeling the sides. Doesn't matter which is which. Sorry, labeling the angles. So I'm going to call that one big A, I'm going to call that one big B, and I'm going to call that one big C. It doesn't matter which is which when it comes to angles. What does matter now is that you label this one across here small a. This side is called small a. And if this is big B, well then this side over here is small b. And if this is big C, well then this side over here is small c. Write down the theorem. So A over the sine of A is equal to B over the sine of B is equal to C over the sine of C. Fill in what you have. So I don't have A. Now I do have the angle. It's 38. Do I have B? No. In fact, B is what I'm being asked to find, remember. So I'm going to call that X. It's easier to always call what you're missing X. Over the sine of 47 equals C, which is 50, over the sine of C. Now pick which two to use. Well, I must pick this one. And if you look at the other two fractions, it's kind of like, there's a bit missing from each one. But remember, I can actually find this if I truly want. I can find this angle up here quite easily. And I'm going to do it now. I was hoping I wouldn't need to do it, but I'm going to do it because it's the third angle in a triangle. So I just need to add the two angles that I have, which is 38 and 47. You get 85. And then take that away from 180 and you have 95. So now I know that C is 95 degrees. So I'm going to just rub out big letter C there and I'm going to put in 95 degrees because now I can use this fraction here in my sine rule question. I only need to use two of them and those are the two I'm going to use. Okay, so when I've chosen the two, I cross multiply. So I'm just writing them down now to get rid of any confusion. I'm going to cross multiply. So X is going to multiply by the sine of 95. Keep your equals in the middle. And 5 is going to multiply by the sine of 47. And remember, we're looking to get X, so we need to get X on its own. So we need to move this sine 95 over here. Now at the minute it's multiplying by X. So if you move it to the other side, it will divide. And type that into the calculator and we will have an answer. We'll do that in a moment. But we will have what x is once you type that into the calculator. Okay, so we've found that length of side that we were asked to find. This side down here. X. Now, part 2 says find the width of the river, W. You notice in the picture, W is basically this side here. So now, just like we did in the last video, we're looking at this triangle here, this right angle triangle. There's no need to use the entire triangle anymore. We're just going to focus in on that right angle triangle. We have a 90-degree angle. We have 38 degrees. We're being asked to find this side here, W in the question, but of course we'll call it X. And we have this side here. We have here. We just would have found it a moment ago on that question. Okay, whatever the answer was there, that's that side there. So if it's a right angle triangle, we're going to use SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA, not the sine rule or the cosine rule. SOHCAHTOA. So you start off by labeling the side. So there's your angle. So that's your opposite. That's your right angle. So that's your hypotenuse. And there's your adjacent. Write down the trigonometric ratios, SOHCAHTOA, and pick which one to use. Now we need to use the one that contains the side we're looking for. So we need to use the one that contains O, because we're looking for that side, and the side that contains H, because we have that side, of course. We found it a moment ago in that question. So O and H, we're going to use sine. So we say the sine of 38 degrees is equal to O over, O, we'll call it X, over. Now, you would have gotten that in the previous question. You can find it on the calculator. And then just get X on its own by bringing that over to multiply by the sine of 38. Type that into the calculator and you get your answer. Tricky.